Today on the channel, we're getting primed for the spooky season with the Figura Obscura 4 Horsemen, Masque of the Red Death.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Figura Obscura 4 Horsemen unboxing and review. And today on the channel we got the latest and greatest. We got the Masque of the Red Death. But for all your Store Horsemen needs, head over to storehorseman.com. You can also find some of the 4 Horsemen stuff, Mythic Legion stuff like that at Big Bad Toy Store, of course. Link in the description down below. But the Figura Obscura was on the 4 Horsemen, Store Horsemen I think it's called, website. Of course, a timed edition. That's what we see with these Figura Obscuras. Usually 8 a.m. like Central Time, 8 p.m. Central Time. You do the math on yours. They usually drop them twice in one day to give everybody around the world a different time to be able to pick these up. And if you miss one, you got a second chance at the second one, like so. A lot of times these things sell out right away. Sometimes they have some extras left over. Just really all depends. But we did have the Monkey King prior to this. We, of course, had the Father Christmas part of this as well. The Headless Horseman, a good one about a year ago we had. So they've had quite a few releases over the time. Krampus, there's another one. So they've had a few of these Figura Obscuras. Not quite Mythic Legions, but kind of in the same kind of style vein. I guess same sculptors, same designers. But a really cool thing. And I like that they come just a couple of times a year. They're very intriguing, very different, very cool looking figures. This one is in the same vein of that. And this one fits really good. Of course, it is based on the Edgar Allan Poe poem. Been a heck of a long time since I read The Masque of Red Death. I read a lot of Poe stuff. I want to say it was like 7th or 8th grade. We had to in like English class or whatever. Feels a little bit old-timey these days. Felt a little bit old-timey then. But you can get the gist of the story. And there's been a lot of interpretations in TV, television, movies, you name it. Vincent Price had all those Edgar Allan Poe movies as well. But it is a pretty cool story. I mean, from what I remember, it was like there was like a plague basically going on. You know, like the Black Plague, the bubonic plague, whatever plague it may be. But it was the Masque of the Red Death, and of course, it was killing everybody, and I think like all the rich people went to like a castle or something, and they hid out, and they said, we'll all stay here together, and we'll be all good. Well, then this creepy figure comes in there, kind of wanders around, and one by one, got all of them. Then they just tried to, I think, kill the guy or something. You know, they said, what is this guy mooping around here? And they tried to kill him, and then there was nothing there because he's everywhere. He's the plague. That's the way it works. And of course, everybody dies for the Red Death. There's a big clock in the thing, and it chimes at like midnight or whatever. And everybody like stunned when they hear that, and the next one to go, that kind of thing. So really writes itself, old Edgar Allan Poe. But we do come with this. There is a big read up on the back, but then you do get this book. I have not read through this, but I believe this is kind of the story. I don't know if it's word for word or an interpretation, maybe the Cliff Notes version, but Edgar Allan Poe, not really a long form writer. He is a short story guy out there. I'm a song and dance man. He's a short story guy. That's the way it goes. But this cool booklet here, a little deeper understanding, some cool pictures, all the kind of stuff there. Very nice throw in with this figure. But then you get down to the figure, and that's what we're going to get to. And of course, we're going to do this unboxing like we do all the other unboxings on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging. A lot to look at here. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. But right off the bat, how creepy, eerie is that? It's not like Leatherface in your face with a chainsaw horror. It's more psychological, scary, spooky horror is what that looks like. The Masque of the Red Death, you got the drawn blood there. You got the 4 Horsemen logo as well, kind of mixed in there, looking good. Masque of the Red Death, skeleton. Almost looks like something from the rock band, or rock band, heavy metal, death metal band Death is almost what it reminds me of. Those guys and their simple music. There it is. No, I wouldn't go that far, but there it is. You got the clock on the side, all that cool stuff. 4 Horsemen on that side over there. On the back, a little bit of a write-up, a little bit of a blurbage going on. I love the black and red attack throughout on here. Looking really, really cool. Looking really dark is what it looks like. But then, of course, the power of magnets compel you. And as usual, you get the magnet holder here, but it is very cool for your figure. You get a nice background, so you can put everything behind it. You can arch this, do whatever you want, not use it at all or use it, but it is a cool, nice little background scene. Little extra added value. That never hurt anybody. There's no doubt about it. Then we do get the figure here in just its box. Unfortunately for me, or fortunately I guess, I am unboxing this, but his head seems to be pointed down or it's fell off the peg. I'm not exactly sure. And we even got some paint smear against the window. So we never like to see that. That is for sure. We do not like that at all. Big clock in there. You do got the figure, Masque of the Red Death down low. Big window box, of course. Got a little of that on this side, a little of this on this side. Then you got the old plague guy with that big old mask going on. In that horse and carriage there, I don't know. And it reminds me of that horse and carriage. I've told this story before on the channel. I don't know what it is. I was just recently talking about this. But whenever I get really tired, like old Kyle, I used to, back in my earlier days, I used to go to a lot of heavy metal shows. I still try to, but I used to go to a lot, and I would drive to Chicago for a show. Okay, whatever band, Anthrax, whoever it is, they're playing at 10 o'clock. They're going to go on stage at 10. I'm leaving. I got a 5-hour drive, and I would drive 5 hours to Chicago, go to the show, drive 5 hours home, then I'd go to work the next morning. I was a wild man in my younger days. Have to see these bands. They would come to Chicago. Every band comes to Chicago. So you want to see Udo, you want to see UDO, you want to see Halloween, you got to go to Chicago. They're not coming to the heart of the Midwest. So that's what I would do, but it always happened. I don't know what this means. Is this psychological? What is this? But I would get really tired. Obviously, that last hour home, it's like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. You're just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. But I would always see a horse and carriage all in black with like a carriage rider going. He's hitting the reins on these horses, and they'd always be coming at me on the interstate. I'd be like, oh my gosh, what the heck? I don't know, it's just sleep deprivation. I'm sure that's what it is. But why do I always see the black horse and buggy carriage coming at me? What's that about? There's got to be something there. I don't know. Some of you guys figure that out. I got some free therapy sessions. That's what that is. But who knows? But let's get this out of the box here. Of course, I didn't read the back of the box on that one. I will have it on the screen, so if you want to pause it, you can definitely do that. We got a note. We got a silica packet. Always love to get those. Then we got a little note in here. It's like passing notes in school. What's going on? What do we got? Masque of the Red Death here. It's a dangerous death. Be careful. Now, joints on Mythic Legion figures become tight after production. It's kind of an FYI. You better heat these things up, all that kind of fun stuff. But a gentle off to the side. See you later, as I will be keeping the packaging on this one. Gotta keep the packaging. It looks like we got a wayward knife going on here. But we do get 2 plastic prisons. Look at that blood splatter. Oh my gosh, what a mess. What an absolute mess. This looks like the base for the clock. We got 2 hands right here. What's going on with those hands? Feeling a little handy. I think this is probably the top of the clock, I would imagine. Then, of course, you got the big thing of blood. So there's all that off to the old side there. And then we get the old plastic prison here. We got more hands. We got the clock. And then, of course, we got the figure himself. Looking good right here. Going to cut him out as we are twist tied in 2 different places. Twist ties running wild here today. Running wild in the twist tie department. There's 1. There is 2. See you later. Goodbye. More hands. 1, 2, 3, 4 hands right there. And then the big old clock. And the cool thing about this clock, the cool thing about the blood, you can technically use that for whatever you want. See you later off to the side. You can do whatever you want with those kind of things. You want to put those with a different toy line, whatever you want to do, you can easily do that. But I guess we'll start off here. We got this dagger, and I think that's how it ended. Didn't the guy try to like stab the Masque of the Red Death, and then it was like all air because it wasn't real. It was a plague in the air. It was just kind of in your brain a little bit. You know how it goes. We got the little dagger action going good, looking nice. Silver blade. Got the nice ribbed handle there. Then once again, silver at the bottom. Very good weapon. No issues with that one there. Then we get this big old clock, and like I thought, this does plug in here. It's like Legos is what this is like. But that is a nice base on the clock. Should just plug right in. There it is like so. Then you get the top here. You got the little raven. All a little callback to the old raven there. Stick that on the top. And oh my gosh, how about that grandfather clock? It feels like you're just at your grandma's house. And depending on your age. If you're my age, you go to your grandma's. They had big clocks like these in their house. You know, passed down from their parents. Things like that. I don't think a lot of people in this day and age getting big clocks like this. They're good with their cell phone watch, I'm sure. But very, very cool, very classic, very ornate, very cool. You got the claw feet on the bottom, big, big, tall one here, all kinds of decoration. You got the raven at the top with the red eyes peeking in there. Of course, the clock is at midnight. Oh, dangerous times at midnight. Then you got the bells, all that kind of stuff inside. Just very, very cool. And like I said, you could mix this up with anything you wanted to. Really like the looks of that. Very, very cool clock going on. Then we get down to this blood splatter. How about that? That is some thick red blood. This is a bad day at the office, all this blood. But very cool, very horror inspired here. Looking very nice. And it does double as a stand. So you got 4 peg holes on here, so you can put people on here. You can put him on here with somebody else. Choose your own adventure what you want to do, but I am here for that all day. Then we get down to these hands, and I guess it is truly choose your own hand adventure. You like a dark red hand, you like a light brown hand. How do you like them? How do you like them here? But we do get different hands. So we do get 2 gripping hands. These are the knife holding hands, so you get those. And then we get, oh yeah, I like these. These are kind of like claw hands going on here. So not full-on claw, but kind of like this kind of a claw. So we got these, and then we got 2 more gripping hands. I guess choose your own adventure. You want the up and down hinge or the side-to-side hinge. So we got all those. Then straight out of the package, we got the more maniacal hands, ready to go, ready to creep on somebody, ready to do that kind of stuff. So we can do truly choose our own adventure here. Now, what's going on with this head? All right, his neck is just way down, and oh my gosh, it's not on there very good. We're losing paint. That's usually what happens with a lot of these Mythic Legions too. Sometimes as the paint comes off, give it a little blow, get all that there. But the head was not totally on mine, so it was just kind of laying on there. That's why he had that front position, which was unfortunate. We don't like that. We don't like that. But very interesting here. Almost reminds me of the Zombie Ritual. I talked about Death a little bit earlier ago. Reminds me of the Zombie Ritual album cover. Is kind of what it reminds me of. Just need a throne for this guy to sit in. But it is very creepy, very satanic kind of feel to it. Got like a kind of a message in his forehead, it looks like here. Got a big old face. And how about this head? Oh, yeah, playing a lot of hits as you got the jaw that does kind of move around a little bit. So you got a little bit of movement in that jaw. It doesn't seem to be hinged, but it does move. So you got a little bit of that going on. It's just like blood dripping off the side of his face, what it looks like. Big eye sockets way back there. Just absolutely menacing. I am here for this. And then he does have this big old... What do you call this? I'm not going to call it a shawl. I guess it's a hood. It's like a young Red Riding Hood, but we got a hood here for him to give him a little bit more creepiness. And then you got these bendy wires in here. Let's see. It might be a thin bendy wire in there, I think. So you do got this, almost like a scarf, but you can wrap this whatever way you want to. So we have that. Then he's got the big old robe going on. Look at this. Big old robe. All kinds of robe going on. And then even under that, he's got another robe underside his robe. So there is a lot going on with this figure. There is a ton going on with this figure. But he is definitely spooky, definitely scary looking. And then you can remove all this stuff if you want to, and just have this as like a demonic skeleton if you want that in your collection as well. Very creepy. Got very skeleton-like arms going on. Black and red, of course. Masque of the Red Death makes a lot of sense. Got the black fingernails, the hands reaching out to get you. He does got bare feet. I think it would look weird if he was in some sneakers or some flip-flops or something. Might take a little of the edge off. I don't know. You tell me. But I do like the feet here. It almost looks like he's got red bloody nail polish, and he's got long toenails. He needs to get a manicure. You ought to visit my wife. They could go together, maybe. Who knows? And we do have a little bit of a hard good underneath of a little skirt going on underneath here as well. I will take a lot of glamour shots of this. I'll disrobe him. Nothing like disrobing a skeleton. Makes all the fun times right there. Arms and joints very tight, just like the note said. As the note said, the prophecy has come true. But the arms do go all the way around. There's no bicep cut or anything. We do got single jointed elbows on this one. Hands back, forward, side to side. Hands removable. Head removable, back, forward, side to side. You do get waist articulation. Not really much in the splits department. You do get legs that go up. Should be single jointed knees, I do believe. Feeling through, yes, it is single jointed knees on this as well. So not a ton of articulation, bells and whistles. If you're one that wants all kinds of articulation, you want your Masque of the Red Death doing Mary Lou Retton splits or something like that, you're probably out of luck in that department there. But he does have some mobility to him. I'd say just enough mobility for me. That's how I would classify it here. But he does got some shards of a string coming off of him like we're used to. You see that a lot with soft goods robes, so you got to pull some of that off as well. But an interesting looking figure. I'm going to stick him on this blood. See how he looks. See how he presents on the blood stand. Probably very dangerously. Look at that. Oh my gosh, he's just a bloody mess. Just a bloody floor mess. I'm here for that. You put the clock on this side. Look at this. We're just down to business is what we are right here. The Masque of the Red Death coming true. Who knows? Could be a true story one of these days. It very well could be. You never know. But an interesting one. Perfect for the Halloween season. Perfect for a Figura Obscura release. Be interested to see if they have a release here for the holidays. They usually do that with the Krampus and the Santa Claus one, or Father Christmas. Maybe they'll have something like that. But I always like the spooky ones, the Headless Horsemen of the world, and this. Just a lot of cool stuff to look at here, and a very fun release. So not for everybody, as usual, and this is a little bit deeper cut for some, but one I am here for, one I knew I wanted to buy from the get-go, and I'm happy I did, and it looks pretty good from where I sit, and as you guys know, right here at the table. But what say you guys out there? You picking this one up? Is this something part of your collection? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bells. We got videos every single day, and then some. We got even more content, if you can believe it, over on Patreon, where you get early access to all the videos from both YouTube channels, bonus content, you name it, and best of all, you do support the channel. You can also support the channel over at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson, and don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads and on Instagram. So for the Masque of the Red Death, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.